So how did you know you had dyslexia?
I never knew I had dyslexia. It was more of my mom. When I was a younger age, I used to live in Tanzania. And when I lived in Tanzania, I used to have people that would help me study. And I was ahead for my age. And then I came to the UK. Then because I was ahead of the system for my age and reception, they held me to everyone else's level because they thought that because I knew it, I would be more as they didn't have to do much as me as other students. It was hard for me to spell, and simple was that everyone else would be able to spell. I would be very lost in it and confuse simple letters as an E and an I, B, D. Everything else would flip around. And when I was in year 2, that's when my mom figured out I had dyslexia.
Hello, my name is Margaret Taribo. I want to welcome you to Echoes of Our Community. This podcast series looks at different topics from different people, real topics, real stories from real people that I want to believe that they will change lives, they will impact lives, they will make, life worth talking about, because we're not hiding behind anything. We want to just be as real as possible. So today we're looking at a topic that I believe is not spoken about a lot in our Black community. We are diving into this because dyslexia is important. But how important is it in terms of parental and societal support from school, from home, from the community? And, we want to explore this because, identification matters and we can do better. But how can we do better? Whether it's at home, whether it's at school, in our communities, we have to think about our children because every child is unique, every child is blessed. But can we see that and how can we identify that? So as we move on, I just want to read a few statistics to show the importance of this topic itself. A 2023 study screening African American children in kindergarten through second grade found out that nearly 49% of children were identified as at risk for dyslexia, and the majority of those were confirmed dyslexic after a detailed testing. Another research in England and Wales shows that Black and minority ethnic children are less likely to be diagnosed with specific learning difficulties, such as dyslexia, than their white peers who have similar achievements and socio-economic backgrounds. Another statistics in the UK, the British Dyslexia Association estimates that 10 to 15% of children have dyslexia, but up to 80% remain undiagnosed in school. And this leads to poor self-esteem, anxiety, and academic disengagement. So I'd like you to stay with us because this conversation is long overdue. And today I have with me the lovely Amara.
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Welcome to Echoes of Our Community.
Thank you.
Yeah? You're excited to be here?
Yeah.
Hope you're not scared to be here.
No.
That's good. So tell us about yourself, Amara.
Well, I'm dyslexic. I go to boarding school. 12 years old, study, nothing much.
Nothing. Oh, that's a lot. Trust me. So you're in boarding school. What year are you in?
Year 7.
Year
Well,
7.
just finished.
Just finished year 7. So going to year 8.
Yes.
So how did you know you had dyslexia?
I never knew until. Sorry, my phone's buzzing. I never knew I had dyslexia. It was more of my mom. When I was a younger age, I used to live in Tanzania. And when I lived in Tanzania, I used to have tutors and nurses, nurses, people that would help me study. And I was ahead for my age. And then I came to the UK. And when I came, the system, because I was ahead of the system for my age and reception, they held me to everyone else's level because they thought that because I knew it, I would be more as they didn't have to do much as me as other students.
Okay.
And then whilst growing up, I've always liked learning. And growing up, it was like hard for me to spell, and like simple words that everyone else would be able to spell, I would be very lost in it and confuse simple letters as an E and an I, B, D. Everything else would like slip around. And when I was in year 2, that's when my mom figured out I had dyslexia. And well, I wasn't at the right age to be diagnosed yet.
Okay.
So we had to.
That's learning for me, because I didn't know that there had to be a particular age.
Well, that's what I've heard. My mom said that they couldn't diagnose me. It's also with autism. You have to be a certain age to be diagnosed as well. So when that happened, my mom would like talk to the school, and then they would give me colored papers. But my mom would say, if you're not French and you don't understand French, if you put a red piece of paper, if you turn white paper into red, how are you supposed to understand that? So I needed more help, basically. And in that summer, my mom started to get me to do more reading, and I upgraded my reading skills. And then in year 3, that's when you do like the normal dyslexia test. The whole of the UK does it in year 3. And after that, the school said I had dyslexia, but they couldn't really do anything else to help me. And then in year 4, my mom paid like £1,000 for me to do a private assessment.
Wow.
A detailed assessment. And so I could actually get the help that I would be needed for like exams, for things that happened. So in year 4, that's when I got that. And then I would start to get more help. Like during tests, I'd get like scribes and readers. And it was very good, because when I started doing my 11 plus, for exams for other schools, I wouldn't have passed my exams without the extra help that I would need.
Okay.
And that's how I got myself into boarding school, basically.
Okay. And how's that been since you've got all that? Well done to mom for, making sure that she was a bit more proactive in getting you that support, because she believed in that. But how's that journey been for you? Has it been that positive? Or so your journey, your educational journey, has it been that good in terms of, because dyslexia, that has to do with, could you explain a bit more? Dyslexia has to do with your spelling, your reading, and what about the other subjects? What else do you do?
Dyslexia affects people in different ways. It affects me with spelling and writing. So I'm really, not like I can't write properly, but I'm a really slow writer. I can't write at like the proper speed. And with spelling, I basically misspell most of my words, which is really hard when you have to do spelling tests. Or like in school, you learn a different language, which is really hard because of the grammar and the punctuation and all of that. And it's hard for me because I can't do that in the language I've known my whole life. And then I have to learn another language, which can make it a bit harder.
Okay. So, and then how's your results been because of...
My results are not bad. I got good A's like in history, Latin, English. Even though I'm dyslexic, I'm really good at English.
Okay. I thought it was a bit, because you couldn't spell. So.
No, my school does a lot to help me. They even give me a laptop for my classes. So
once schools know that you have that condition, they give you extra support.
I can't get that extra support without documents. So other students that would have dyslexia, they can't get the extra help unless they can pay that £1,000 for that assessment.
And I've heard that maybe it can take longer if they don't go for that private assessment.
Yeah. So my mom got a private assessment for me, and that's why I have all my documents sorted out. So until the age of 20, because the last is 10 years. So I have it for a while. So university, I'll still get extra help.
So are you going to, well, you said you've got it for 10 years. So does that mean, do you have to renew those documents?
Yes. Well, I think that's how it works. I'm not 100%
sure.
But other people that have dyslexia, but their parents can't afford to do the paperwork. Yes, they have it sorted out, but they can't get any extra help because they have to have that private assessment.
Okay. And so you said you like English, you like history. So what have you been able to do with that? Poetry, drama?
I used to do acting before.
Okay.
But then I stopped. I had 2 grades in Lambda, and I'm working on my 3rd one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. There's another question I'd like to ask. But before then, because we spoke about English and drama, do you have something to read for us? episode,
Yeah.
and tell us why you have that, and yeah.
Wait, say my thing.
So she's going to read something that she has written as a young, aspiring author, and we're going to listen to Amara tell us that story and the story behind the story.
She's 12 years old with skin like gold, a crown of curls, a gaze so bold. She walks in light, she stands up tall, a black girl rising through it all. The letters mix, the line might blur, but don't you dare underestimate her. Her mind's a maze of brilliant things, of question deep and dreams with wings. She stumbles sometimes when she reads aloud, but lifts her chin. She's fierce, she's proud. Because smartness isn't measured by a test, she knows her worth.
Wow. Why did you write that? Tell us the story.
Well, I wrote a poem 2 years ago that I was supposed to bring here, but I couldn't find it. So I decided to write a different one. And in the community, it's way harder for Black people to get diagnosed, and Black people with dyslexia, it's way harder for them, and they will have a way harder journey than a white person. So it's about the struggles, but I actually haven't had as much struggles as a normal Black person with dyslexia, because my mom has advocated a lot for me, so I would get the help that I was deserved of. So it's more about how I'm going through it and what else I could do in life.
Wow, that is interesting. So I'm so proud of you, and I think Mom is proud of you as well.
Yeah.
So where are you? What's your journey like now? Because I'm hearing nice stories about what you're doing, and you've become an ambassador for dyslexia.
Africa Dyslexia.
Do you want to tell us about that, please?
Well, I became a year ago, and I'm going to do my first conference for it later on in August.
Okay.
And I think I'm leaving next week.
Next week, okay.
Yeah.
So what does that entail? As a champion, as an ambassador, are you going to be talking to people?
I'm going to be speaking at conferences.
Okay.
So people, because in Africa, if you have dyslexia or special need, it's really bad back there. And they want to fix it and show people that your children isn't cursed or something's bad to your child, and they are actually smart, and beating them and treating them really badly isn't going to help them.
Yeah, we hear a lot of stories like that.
Yeah.
Especially they will think, oh, maybe a child is not smart. Why are you not studying? And maybe that child doesn't really like reading. Why doesn't that child like reading? And what support can we give? So you're going to stand up for young people in Africa.
Yeah.
Wow, that is interesting. I think it's very much this. So Amara is going to, she is an ambassador for dyslexia. And yes, and where better a place to be than going to Africa to talk at conferences. And we want to hear more about that, even here in the UK as well. So I'm hoping that we can watch this space and see you thrive and do more, and even do more of your work as a poet as well. And yeah, we want to hear more about that. So it's well needed. And I just want to say that dyslexia is just one of the conditions of mental health or learning difficulties that our young people are faced with. But it's about how do we support them, and looking at it from a very young age, just like Amara here. But hopefully we're on the journey together, and we need to just speak out loud and get as much support as we need, because the support is out there. But watch out for part 2, because we're going to be listening to Amara and her mom, as a mom who has advocated for Amara that she can do it and she will do it. So thank you for watching Echoes of Our Community, and I'll see you on the next episode. Thank you.